For decades, gaming was seen as a bad influence on kids and teens for encouraging negative or violent behaviours, or severely damaging their social skills and interactions. Relatively recently, gaming has been seen as a great tool to help with mental health issues, mainly depression and anxiety, but also related conditions. So how do games help with mental health? Are they more than just mindless activities? First off, I do want to address that there are negative sides to everything, and video games haven't just shaken off the bad reputation they once had. There is still a dark side to gaming, but many people may never experience this due to the types of games they play. For instance, playing online games will always expose you to random people, some of whom just want to cause chaos and drama. This does not mean every person you come across will be unpleasant, but there is always a small chance. It shouldn't be a reason to completely avoid online games though. There are so many positive interactions you can have if you give it a go. A couple of other negatives that games were popular to blame were violent behaviours and addiction. Both of these require a little more than just exposure to video games. There is so much more behind violence and addiction, such as family experiences, what's going on in a person's life, trauma, abuse, or even genetics. Gaming isn't always the cause of negative behaviours, it just happens to be associated with them. I have a number of mental health issues myself: depression, generalised anxiety disorder, and panic disorder. I've found gaming to be a safe place I can escape to when real life gets too much or I find it hard to cope. I'm not saying gaming should be a tool used to ignore real life or avoid responsibilities, but as a way to take a break from reality and take a time out just for a little while. Gaming has always been a big part of my life, and I had to live with being told how bad games are or what a waste of time they can be. I'm not an expert in gaming or psychology, but I am qualified in the latter. I've always wanted to encourage more people to play games for their mental health, because I've found almost a kind of therapy through it. So with that said, let's look at the positive effects gaming can have on mental health. In real life, there isn't much we can control aside from making smaller choices throughout our day or setting long and short-term goals. In games, you can decide so many things, like how the game will be played, how fast or slow the story will progress. If you can customize things in the game, it's all what you want to pick. There's a strong sense of autonomy and agency, choosing to create the story rather than be locked to a strict set of rules and seeing what happens to you. This can be seen in all sorts of games, sometimes without realizing. If you've ever decided to do a side quest, repeat a mission, redo a race, these are all choices that can make the game your own, and it gives you the power to decide when and how you want to progress. I'm guilty of doing side quests to the point of being over-leveled in the story, but each task adds to my overall experience of the game. A psychologist named Seligman created a model for well-being that contained 5 elements that are needed in order for something to make us feel good. They are positive emotion, engagement, relationships, meaning and purpose, and accomplishment, or using the mnemonic PERMA. If you apply these to gaming, you'll notice how easily it fits into this model. If you play a game you really enjoy, you'll get a sense of satisfaction and happiness every time you turn it on. This is an obvious positive trait of gaming and can really help improve your mood if you're having a bad day. Gaming can also help with stress if you're not playing a super tense or overly competitive game, and some games can even help you relax. You can find small activities to do in a huge world and just focus on that if that's all you want to do. When I first played Skyrim, all I did was go around picking flowers. If you're dealing with a difficult situation in life, gaming can help distract you, or even help manage your emotions. Think of it as needing an outlet to vent something like anger by playing an FPS rather than passing your anger on to someone else. If you're playing with friends, sometimes you can get a self-esteem boost just by being part of a game, or helping each other out. Engaging in the story and getting really invested in the characters and the plot will also give you reason to get into a game. I find if I don't have a heavy story-driven game on the go, I feel a little lost and my brain starts wandering into sad places. Having a world to visit or a story to experience does a lot to help with stress, and being so engaged can also help with attention and focus. Becoming part of a game world and community can feel like you belong to a group of like-minded people who won't alienate you for being a gamer. When I went to my first game and comic convention, I felt comfortable around all these other geeks, and no one was laughing at the cosplayer or pointing out that games are for kids. We were all there for the same reasons, and there was nothing but great energy. Relationships amongst friends who game together is a great source for bonding and sharing social experiences. Online friendships can be as real and deep as in-person friendships. I've heard of many online interactions resulting in marriages or relationships because of gaming. Online, some people find the courage to share things they wouldn't normally be able to, or they'll find support when sharing achievements or failures. Something that's important for friendships as a child is proximity, so you'll play with your friend next door more often than the one who lives an hour away. Gaming almost fixes this problem, as you can talk to friends as long as you're all online together, or send messages for later. This also helps to maintain relationships that may have dissolved due to not seeing that friend as often, as there's always a way to keep the communication going. You can also learn from the people you play with, such as finding new strategies to play more efficiently in a team, or mastering the basics. Being part of a community also helps people feel less lonely, which in turn can give a person a feeling of being wanted or needed, which is usually a difficult feeling to cope with when you're alone. Whether you've leveled up, progressed a little further, or beaten that level that you just couldn't beat yesterday, feeling as if you've improved or learned something can be a massive boost to your brain chemicals. Having a sense of purpose will always be a drive towards goals, no matter how small they feel. Working towards a common goal with other players in a game, such as reaching a target to get loot, enables people to feel part of the grand scheme of things, and that they contributed to something bigger than themselves. Guilds, clubs, forums, Discord, they all hold the same value of making you feel like you're engaging in something meaningful. Along with this is a sense of accomplishment, feeling like your hard work paid off, or you finally beat the boss you've been working on for days. Having a goal and working to reach it in any capacity is very rewarding, and most video games give you chances, both big and small, to complete a quest or mission and receive a reward for your efforts. Trophies and achievements are like little pops of happiness, especially when you've been grinding for hours to try and 100% a game. Many games work with missions or quests in order to provide structure and keep you motivated, with side quests being optional for those who want to complete them. In life, we aren't always credited or awarded for our achievements, and sometimes any praise is few and far between. Video games, however, make a song and dance, give you rewards, and make it known that you've achieved something. These moments are far more frequent than in real life, and each goal is something you know you can reach, or at least work towards, without pushing too hard. Improving your skills, leveling up your character, getting the best gear and essentially beating the game are all goals set from the start. Once you reach each goal, there's a great feeling of accomplishment and satisfaction, knowing you completed what you set out to do, and you received rewards and acknowledgement for your hard work. This is a great motivator and can develop a new mindset to use in real life, such as creating small tasks and rewarding yourself once they're complete. Skills in video games don't seem to have a place outside of the gaming world, but this isn't always the case. Okay, if you play FPS games, you're not going to need to know how to dismantle a laser rifle, but understanding tactics and strategies, teamwork, problem or puzzle solving, social skills, and situational planning are all useful. On top of those, practicing fine motor skills, maintaining hand-eye coordination, focusing on current tasks, and even multitasking are learned. It does seem like a lot of things going on at once, but gaming seems to be an effective way to hone many skills while still enjoying the game itself. This isn't an exhaustive list of benefits by any means. It's the tip of the iceberg when it comes to understanding gaming and mental health. But as video games are relatively new and ever-changing, more and more studies are being done. Video games don't fall into good or bad. Just like anything, there's always an in-between. It's about knowing your limits and doing what's best for your brain. If you have anger issues, don't play competitive games. If you have anxiety and panics, don't play jump scare horror games. It comes down to knowing yourself and being aware of what games are available that will fit you the best. Also, keeping tabs on your playtime and moderating yourself is very important. I'm not encouraging you to live in a game world and allow your real life to suffer. There are no rules for what kinds of games you can enjoy either. If it's playing mobile games that makes you happy, pick a mobile game. If you love the pressure and energy of battle royales or MOBA games, there are plenty to pick from. At the end of the day, you know you best, and there's something for everyone. Find your happy place. Be kind to others who may be there, and play responsibly.